Good evening, everybody. If the Open this week is half as good as the Scottish, we're in for one exciting week. We shipped Steve over there just to talk about it, so you got Dave and I tonight. Let's get right into it. Welcome to the Tavern. Yeah. I think he's back to form. He fell off a little bit last year, but he also was named Ryder Cup captain. Give me Steve Gravity! How is everybody doing tonight?
Everybody, it's just me and you.
Hey, we have traded Steve to the British Isles, to Northern Ireland for Guinness.
A 6-pack of Guinness.
I think it was a good trade.
I think it's an outstanding trade.
Delicious.
Yeah.
I think that was a great trade. We've made some changes around here, and it's the Dave and Greg show this week. So
as it should have been from the beginning. It's I introduced you to Steve to begin with, so this is all my fault.
Yeah, I blame you for that. So
yeah,
I don't know how we're still friends after that. Luckily, we were best friends before that, so I didn't hold it against you.
Yeah, I know.
But to be honest, we actually have your wife to blame for that.
Yeah,
she
knew
introduced
Steve
you to
first.
Steve. So we'll just hold that over.
Steve and I kind of knew each other through softball beforehand, but yeah, let's.
You don't have to blame Whit.
Yeah, let's blame my wife.
You had to close the door for that one. Nice. All right. Well, Dave, how was your week?
I tell you what, it's been busy for me. We're starting our county fair week. Here I just got back from a nice cruise that I was on last week, sporting a lot of the golfish stuff the other week before the 4th of July. So this is 2 weeks of Dave in a row. So, it's kind of unprecedented territory right now that people aren't used to. But busy week, been out in the vineyard a lot and getting ready for fair. So I was just out at the club, shameless plug, hawking the wine a little bit. But while I was doing that, Will went out, played 5 holes by himself, walked 5 holes out at the country club by himself, and he was +5 through 5. So that's pretty good for him out there.
That's awesome. Yeah, I went this weekend. We were at my in-laws, and my son has been there. Ollie's been there all week. And my father-in-law told me about their community college has a 3-hole golf course that is free. It's a par 5, a par 4, and a par 3. And It's free. You just walk on it. It's the fairways and tee boxes are in okay condition. The greens are like you're in your backyard. It's nothing to talk about on the greens. But I was blown away by the ability to just go out there and play. I said, I wish I had something like this near me at my community college in the area, because this is a great way to grow the game. This is a great way for my son, who's 4, to get out there and play and have fun, not disturbing people who are paying a lot of money on a golf course to play. Right. More places need to have this. And kudos to Kankakee Community College for putting something like that together for the community. And as my father-in-law said, it's the tax dollars at work, but I would love my tax dollars to do that. So it was a phenomenal weekend.
Yeah, it's just anytime you can get out and support the community, no matter how you're doing it, whether it's we've all seen the Instagram memes of like the free will donation clubs that are out there. And when it comes down to it, get out and play.
And that's what grows the game, people. Get out there, find places to have fun. Don't worry about it has to be fancy. It has to be a prestigious course. Golf is golf no matter where you play. Golf is like pizza. Bad golf is still good golf.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I just found it through my local club that I'm a member at. I just received my USGA GIN index.
Oh, As our friend Yip would say, let's go straight to the gin. You got your
Let's go straight to the gin. So
you got your gin index. That is awesome. Congratulations.
yep.
Is it?
So
Are you just starting to enter, or do you have an index now?
I just got the emails about it today, and I haven't had a chance to really look at it. I don't know if I could backdate some of the holes
Okay.
I've played already this year. So once I get that, and we'll see how bad my handicap really is.
I think your handicap's going to be better than you think it is. Mine's going in the wrong direction, but
yeah, according to one of the apps I'm using right now, I am 20.5.
okay. I think that's probably about right. I think that's I think you'll improve more. The more you use the GIN, I think that helps people improve their game because you get to see exactly what it does and you understand the handicap system a little bit better.
And I think for me, I've just recently started entering hole by hole in the app that I was using rather than just an overall score. So I think as I move forward with this, entering hole by hole, I'll get yes of lip on my case and more of better golf.
Well, and that's the thing. You can do that in the GIN system is you can enter hole by hole as well. Sometimes when I forget, I'll just enter my front nine and back nine and put the total in because I also know how the system works. So it doesn't have to adjust for my handicap. I'm not putting in a 10 on a hole that I should not be taking a 10 on. So
correct.
It's got to keep it fair. Keep it fair. All right.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. Have fun and keep it fair.
Exactly. Well, with that, let's get into first round here and talk some Scottish Open.
Ready to take your game to the next level? Desert Fox Golf's collegiate gear is growing fast, with over 25 universities and counting. Show off your favorite team on the course with the Phone Caddy and DJ10 speaker, built for easy access for every round. Perfect for students, alumni, and college sports fans looking to show off their school spirit. Gear up today at desertfoxgolf.com.
And use code GolfingDads to get 15% off your order at Desert Fox. Better than Amazon Prime Day.
There.
What?
Nice
I just decided to put a hat on for that.
Yeah, mine's upstairs.
But yeah, you got a great golfish hat on. So
I tell you what, I love this new golfish hat. It's a Velcro back, which typically I'm not a fan of, but this one makes it super comfortable as compared to their snapback. So super proud to be rocking this one out. May have some my side hustle, my voice work may have some golfish promo stuff coming up from the fair this week. So shameless plugs all over the place.
So it's once again, if you're looking for some great apparel on the golf course, on your on the beach, check out Golfish and use code GolfingDads to get 15% off at Golfish as well. And you can be as stylish as us. So we're gonna have another.
But outside of that, let's jump into the Scottish Open and the Bridgestone Mindset golf ball.
The winner of the Scottish Open. I almost took a clip. Congratulations to Chris Gotterup, a New Jersey native, and as my dad, a proud Rutgers alum. It was a great shot on, I want to say it was like 14 or 15.
I thought 14 or 15.
When he got put on the clock and he hit it over the green on his second shot. And you just see that mindset flipping, spinning over the around the ball, and he makes par there or bogey there, but he controls his demeanor, uses that mindset, and goes on to win. So what a Scottish Open. What did you think of that last week?
I tell you what, it was I passed on Rory and started kicking myself for that choice, but you kind of gave that gift to Steve. But you kind of never know what you're going to get there at the Scottish or the Open coming up this week. Like we've said in our intro, we shipped Steve over there for a week or so, and Steve, he was out there playing in shorts the other day, and the weather has just kind of been back and forth with everything. But I think, from a Scottish perspective, an outstanding, up and down. The scores were back and forth. I'm looking at them, here in front of me. Chris, got her a point 68, 61, 70, 66. A 61, I think that led the day on Thursday with everything. Is just an unbelievable score, over there. But, kind of have to see what's going to happen, with the weather coming up this week. Greg, what did you think, all the way you had Scotty this week? I had Tommy Fleetwood. He finished tied 41st, so we're not going to get into, or 34th or
he made
something
the cut,
out of the money for me. Yeah, he was 34, so there was, kind of, I got 1 point, so he's kind of out of the money for me. But, you had Scotty, Steve had Rory, kind of watching that. Scotty, he's -9, but was never really a threat for the top of the leaderboard.
He's always a threat
how do
for
you
the
think
top
of
of
that?
the leaderboard, let's be honest.
I get that, but Scotty went 67, 68, 69, 67, which should win a tournament when you look at it like that. But what did you think of the play, the weather conditions, and everything over there as in years past where we've seen this?
I thought this was a great week. I thought this was an entertaining round of golf. I thought that what I saw this week was I saw Rory get back to form. That was the first thing I saw. And Rory seemed comfortable. He seemed relaxed. He seemed like he was pre-Masters. And I really liked that. I really liked to see that when he ended up getting beat by Chris, that he kept his cool. He didn't blame anything. He was still fun. He was still happy with the way he played. And he congratulated him. And congratulations to Chris. And I'm going back to the mindset here. Cool under pressure. You're playing number 2 in the world, Rory, and you've only won once on tour. You're, 25 years old? And you get put under the shot clock, and you just kept up with Rory shot for shot all day, didn't let anything faze you, and I never felt like he fell out of it. Like, there was never a point, except for when they put him on the shot clock, that I was like, this is going to be the test. If he can survive this, he's good. And he did not look – the only shot that I saw was the first shot after being put on the clock, that second shot on the I think what I said, the 14th hole or something like that.
He kind of scolded a little bit, yeah.
He overshot the green because he was put out of his rhythm, but he got back in it. He stayed cool, ended up winning. That was a great thing to see. Scotty, I saw a lot from Scotty this week that I was like, okay, he's getting better at playing over there. He's getting better at playing in those conditions with the wind, with the weather, with the links-style golf. I saw a lot of good things from him. His putting, which is the weakest part of his game at times, and the one thing that holds him out from winning, because tee to green, he was the best this week. And the putting is what is the big factor. And if he improves that going into the Open this week, I think it'll be good. We all saw the famous shot of him putting, which I watched live, of him going, and you never see that out of Scotty. But he was also having fun with it too. You could see he was like confused and frustrated, but it was his way of kind of being lighthearted about it and in the moment. So that's kind of what I saw this week. That's what I liked about this week. That's what made this week entertaining. Is this was the best field they've had at the Scottish Open in the past few years, and to have someone, an up and comer on tour, win it, and not just win it like he just had a great week. He had to do it against Rory, who was also having a great week.
Yeah. So, we talked about, him, being put on the clock and, kind of rushing that shot. And let's go back to the shameless plug here. Do you think that mindset technology, once he got up to the green and could refocus himself, do you think that helped him out on where he was and getting himself centered going forward after being put on the clock?
And not really a shameless plug. I think absolutely. I think that you weren't there for this, Dave. Steve and I got the opportunity to go to a Bridgestone event at the PGA show this year, and we got to hear the creator of the mindset talk about and even do a demonstration on how it works, how the game mentally works, how the mindset helps you. And he had us focus on a point, focus on the mindset, and then do the 3 different stages of the mindset. And it really got you centered. And that's where this golf ball really makes a difference. So yes, I think this made a difference for him. If you use it correctly and then find a way to tweak it in your own way. It's that visualize. What are the 3 things now that I'm doing this? Yeah. I don't have a thing on me, but it's a way to get yourself ready and have that 3-step process. What is it? Visualize.
Focus, visualize, identify.
Okay, identify. Yeah. So the focus part is you're focusing on what you have to do, then visualize what you have to do, then identify, which is how you're going to do it. If you use these simple steps and break it down, it can really go deep down the rabbit hole with this. But if you use those steps, it really helps you focus, really helps you center, block out the noise, and do what you need to do. And I think that when he got put on the clock, he didn't do that. He didn't. He was just like, I got to move. I got to get quicker. So he got out of his groove. Getting back into that, he held it the rest of the round. And I think that's a big help for that. So it's a great tool. If you're not using it, I recommend using Bridgestone with the mindset. And they now have it in the E series as well. So
yeah, the E12 straight. Yeah. So, you look at the leaderboard from the Scottish and you see 5 Americans in the top 15. Is this some, you've got her up, you have Xander, Scotty, Wyndham Clark, and Andrew Novak, who finished tied 13th.
Yep. You got Justin Thomas at 22.
Right. I know we're at Bethpage, this year, coming up for Ryder Cup, but before we know it, it's going to be Ryder Cup season. How does, for Americans going over and getting these courses in for like the Scottish or getting a chance to play in the Open, how does that help them down the road understanding these conditions when it comes Ryder Cup time in September?
This year, it doesn't. This year, because we're in the U.S., you're not playing this kind of course. So this year, it's getting your game in rhythm. This is actually probably helping with the weather and the wind that you could see in New York. So I think it'll help your game in that sense. It's not helping your game like it would 2 years from now when we go over to Europe to play. This would be a good setup for that, going to both of these. But I think you always need to prepare. You always need to look at this from different angles, different aspects. Right now, your focus is on the Open this week, the final major of the year. So you're really trying to prepare for what's coming next week. This week, you're trying to win this week, but at the same time, you're trying to prepare for that as well. Where, like, got her up, he was trying to win to get into this week, which he did. Yeah. So that'll be great to see how that win propels him this week. And I'm hoping it propels him to another great finish this week. But for people like Xander, Scotty, Wyndham Clark, Justin Thomas, I don't think they're thinking Ryder Cup at this point right now. I think once the Open is over, every tournament leading into September, they are thinking that. They are thinking about what it takes, how they're playing. And I think that our captain has to be looking at that as well. He has to be looking at, okay, how are people playing right now? Because if I was looking at Wyndham Clark, who's had his ups and downs this year, and he played well at the Scottish, if that continues, am I considering him for a position. Xander's already in. Scotty's already in. So that's really where you're looking at from here. So you really want to look at this major on just how they play, because now this is going to be an environment like playing in a Ryder Cup when you're playing in a major. So this week, I think is going to be more of a test than what last week was. So I think with that, let's get right into happy hour, and let's talk about the Open Championship.
The Open.
So we are here at the final major of the year. I feel these majors go by too quickly in a season. We get to the Open Championship and it's over. We moved the PGA Championship earlier, so we don't have another championship to look forward to. I don't know whether I like the order that it is now, but I feel it ends too soon. I feel I'd like to see this major move back maybe a little bit. But
we've seen some of the posts and everything that we're done with elevated events for the year.
Yep.
This is the last major, coming up, and not to take anything away from this, but we'll save this for another topic. But what do we need to expect the rest? It is a Ryder Cup year, so you need your points. You want to play. But you're right. What do we as golf fans have to look forward to coming out of the Open?
The Tour Championships, the playoffs. Right. Like, I like that they did that now. Like years ago when we were young, you didn't have that playoff.
You didn't have that. Yeah.
This, I like it. I don't think they've gotten the playoff system right. They keep changing it every few years, and it used to be 4 events. Now it's 3 events. You get so many points and you're ahead, and you have to play from behind if you really want to win. So that's what we have to look forward to. But we also have to look forward to the Ryder Cup too. So that combination of both kind of helps with that, I think.
Yeah.
After the major season is over, but the majors are what we look forward to every year. Let's be honest. And this is one that's just the historic one. It's the birthplace of golf over there. And
so
it's in Ireland, not
Scotland,
but
we've sent Steve on location there. And if you follow along on our Instagram, you can leave some choice words and comments for Steve on our Instagram. But Royal Portrush, this is the 3rd time they've hosted the Open, going back to 1951 and 2019. It's the only course outside of Great Britain that hosts the Open.
Yes. So it's in Northern Ireland, and I was looking up because you have to it's basically they night golf courses. That's how you get the Royal in front of it. One of the monarchs has to deem it a royal course. And funny enough, they don't just do it in the Isles over there. There's German courses. There's other courses that have that distinction, which is really neat. Then there's some courses that just give themselves the title. And there's one in Canada. There's a few in the U.S. that just give themselves the title, but it's not the official Royal St.
Cloud.
That's where I was going with that one.
We're playing par 71, just under 7,400 yards. This week, weather again could be a factor.
It's going to be very similar to last week. I looked this up earlier, and you're right. It's about, I think, 150, 200 yards longer this week. So that's not much in the grand scheme of things. It was par 70 last week. It's a par 71 this week. And it's going to be a very similar style of golf. So I think the players that did well last week could translate to doing well this week.
Right.
So that's what I'm excited to see.
I think having it there it's a lot different than, say, moving it to, playing the Scottish and then going to Carnoustie or St. Andrews, which is going to be 2 completely different styles of golf as compared to the Scottish Open.
Well, no, those are going to be more similar to the Scottish Open because they're in Scotland. So that's where this is going to be. You're going now across to Ireland.
Oh, but
and so
you get where I'm saying with everything there.
It's gonna be interesting when you look that way. The things that I'm looking forward to is obviously Scotty and Rory. That's been the talk all year.
Yep.
And then you're going to look at Shane Lowry, who I think no one's talking about, but he's the past champion of the Open at this course. And he's been playing some good golf over the past few years. And I want to see him break through and get a good win again. And I think this is a course that he could do it at.
And you got to bring in our live players in John Rahm and Bryson. And I'll throw the name out there because we never expected him to win the Open. And Phil, gets to play this event because he's a past champion. Whether he does well or not, that remains to be seen. But I think your two live golfers that are going to be near the top, they're going to be Rahm and, Bryson that are coming up there. But I think, this is outside of a dark horse, coming through here. I think this is either a 5 or 6, person race, for the field that we'll get into with Odds with Dave, coming down the road here.
Well, and when we're talking about the live players, Rahm and Bryson are the two that do the best in the majors as of late. Rahm's best finish at the Open Championship was in 2023 when he tied for second, and Bryson's best finish at the Open was in 2022 when he tied for 8th. So Rahm has had a better showing at the Open, and I think that's because he grew up on that side of the pond playing over there.
Right.
When playing in Spain.
I think Bryson is a different player now than he was in 2022. I think he's a little less full of himself. He's still full of himself. But I think he's not the grip it and rip it player that he used to be, that he can work his way around a golf course a little bit more manageably now. And Greg froze, so I'm just going to be here talking to myself about the Open Championship until Greg comes back. You look at a couple different players, going through there. Yep, you crashed. Greg texted me. He's crashed. He's rebooting. We'll get into this a little bit later with Odds with Dave. And, you look at Rory, you look at Scotty, Xander. We said Shane Lowry. I think Tommy Fleetwood and Matt Fitzpatrick are going to be moving through this week going up there. But you really don't know what you're going to get when it comes to the Open Championship. You could come, and be, sunny and 70 one day and move on down to, 50 and windy the next. So, sorry, texting with Greg, technical difficulties here, making sure that we're still going through with everything there. But, as we look at this course, when you look at, courses on the European circuit, when it comes to the Open Championship, it is 100% a completely different style of golf than what we're used to playing here in the U.S. When you get to that link style golf, playing, a little bit lower shots into the green, you're maybe putting different clubs into your bag than what you're used to playing on courses over here. And it comes down to knowing how to make shots and adjust your game to playing on these style of courses. Welcome back, Greg.
Yeah, my internet went crazy there for a second.
Yeah. Nope, I was just talking about, who I was thinking was going to be up there, differences between playing here in the States versus over there. I haven't been over there. You've been over there. You've played. Of course, Steve is over there right now. Before we get back into what we think of this Open, what have you noticed as differences of playing here versus there?
So it's a big difference. It's First off, it's the weather is the biggest factor.
Mhm.
The wind, it's flat. There's not a lot of trees on a lot of courses over there. So when you're playing on these coastal courses, it's a different style of golf. Also, the grass, the bunkers, they are different than anything you ever experience over here. Even the courses over here, like at what is it, Evermore, where they have the new course over there, which is a model after St. Andrews. That's similar, but it is nowhere close to a same experience. You're going to get, it's going to look similar, but the play is going to be completely different. It's going to play more like it does over here versus what it's like over there. It is an experience over there. And if you ever get the chance, I recommend going to play golf where golf was created, because it is one of the most fun experiences you'll have playing golf. I will tell you, Steve called me from the course he played yesterday.
Steve's called us both.
I know. He's called. So there's a funny story there, too. But he called me today about something, and the guys he's with goes, "This is like the 20th phone call you've made since you've been here." And I go, "Oh, he's running a little light this week." But
we're under par there.
He called me, and Steve, what his favorite course is over here. And what his favorite course of all time is.
He called me after that conversation. Yeah.
And he actually said that this might be his new favorite course over there. And that says a lot for what that style of course is, because I wasn't sure he would like that style of golf over there. But it is an experience, so everyone's got experience. So let's get back into this week. And what are you excited to see this week, Dave?
I'm excited to see. I would like to see the American contingent do well over there, whether that's, contending, winning. I'm probably not picking an American to win this week. I'll put that out there right now as a little bit of a teaser, unless Greg changes his mind.
I'm probably not either.
Yeah. But I think because it's different, because you look at it, like Rory grew up playing over there, but he lives in Tampa now. And and
even if you look at the course, Hollywood course over there, that's not like a typical Scottish and Irish links golf course. It's different. It's more like over here.
It's different. I think newer courses over there have adapted to the US style of play, whereas you have your tried and true home of golf, this wooden sticks and feather balls that won't change until the end of the world and Steven Tyler out there. So
but that's the thing over there is you get this different experience, and the newer courses are built more inland, where a lot of the
older courses,
the short courses have that coastal line or are very close to coastal lines and are built on that flat peated land that just makes it so much more special over there.
For me, as high as I hit the ball, I'm dead over there. When it comes to playing some of those courses.
It's if you can hit a low runner, like that's where a lot of players that are on the Champions Tour, that's why you'll see players like that up in the leaderboard, because they can hit those low bullets that just get under the wind
and just go.
So
what and this is always a case for any courses over there. How are the bunkers going to come into play this week?
The bunkers are true hazards over there. So when you play golf in the U.S., some courses are true hazards, and we've seen them. Like you can go to Tobacco Road, you can go to Augusta. Nice shameless plug there. And they are deep. But they all have like these lips. At these bunkers, you can get up against a wall, and there's nothing you can do. You have to either take it
get out, and it can roll back in.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot, and we will see that. I guarantee we see that this week. Or you can hit a great drive, and just the way that it curves, and we saw this at the Scottish, like, oh, it's going to miss the bunker. And in the US, it probably would, but nope, it's all going to funnel into there. And it's going to make you really think about your shots, the shot shape, and the approaches that you take out there.
Now, does this make you change? You and Steve are a little bit more adapt to this than I am. Does this make you look at the clubs in your bag and maybe take out maybe put a mini driver in, or another hybrid, or an extra set of wedges? And I'm just going to fall back on this because it's the first thing that comes into my mind. Is Phil Mickelson, where he's carried like 2 different drivers and like 84 different wedges in his bag, and we've lost Greg again. Okay.
I don't know what my camera just went off, so I'm gonna switch to a different camera. Yep. So my camera just disconnected for some reason, so I'm just switching to a different camera. But yes, 100%. What you are doing is you are looking at your bag this week, and you are saying, "All right, I do need the driver. The driver's staying in there, but am I going to add a mini driver because I might be able to hit that off the deck here this week and get a better trajectory with that off the deck versus hitting my driver off the deck?" I'm going to look at my wedges and say, all right, some of this is going to be really deep rough. Do I need as many wedges? Because a lot of my wedge shots are going to be out of bunkers that I might need more loft on. So yeah, you are 100% looking at your bag and saying, I'm taking this out, I'm replacing it with this, I'm moving this over here, and I'm going to use different shafts. I'm going to think about a whole bunch of things when playing this type of golf course.
Do you change your ball?
No, that I don't really see you changing a golf ball, because in my opinion, you should be fitted for your golf ball. You should find a golf ball that works for you. The Bridgestone Mindset is one of the best golf balls out there. I'll recommend that to everybody, but your ball is not going to make a difference over there unless it was going to be really cold and you wanted to change the compression on your golf ball a little bit. That would be the only way I would think about changing my golf ball. But the weather over there,
because we saw Rory do it we know Rory plays the TaylorMade TPX. We saw him change from one to another before an event out in California, and he did really well. Do we see, staying within the same family of golf ball and maybe change, like, let's say the Bridgestone, you go from the Tour BX to the E Series with your ball?
I think Rory did that in California because of a swing change and that sort of thing. Now, I think the only reason to change your golf ball is not because of conditions, unless it's like temperature drastic changes, like it's going to be really cold versus really hot. But I don't think you change that. The reason Rory changed his was he was putting too much spin or not enough spin. I can't remember which one it was. And so he needed that change. Mm-hmm. And he has since changed to that ball moving forward from that event. And that's a change you would make. This is not something you're not going to change just for this event, because if you do, your feel is going to be off. It's going to be different. Like, the reason you would want to change because of the weather is because that might change your feel if you're going to get a firmer golf ball versus a softer golf ball in compression. But otherwise, no, I don't see you wanting to change at all this week. If they're making a change, it's because it's something in their game, not because of the conditions of the course or where they're playing.
But I tell you, it's just something that we,
it's a great question.
Armchair quarterbacks, look at. It's not something that everybody might think of when you're going to, look at conditions and playing in. And now when it comes down to, looking at, the weather, these are pros. They have suitcases full of gears. There's tour stops, out there that have everything that they could get out there. Does having all the extra layer of clothing on there, is that going to affect your swing, your preparation, going forward?
Yes, 100%. That's going to affect your game. That's going to be something that I don't know if pros actually take that into consideration when they're over there, but I would almost,
unless you're European.
Well, that's true. From a mental coach's standpoint, I would look at it like, hey, if I'm going over there, I would want you practicing in the jacket. I want you, because we all know this. When it
I'm
rains,
gonna stand there with a garden hose and spray you down while you're.
We should have done a video of that, of like preparing for the Open and like having the
just
weather,
us shooting water at Steve.
Fan. Yeah, really just shooting with a super soaker. But
yeah,
have practice your swing with that coat on, because it's different. For anyone who's ever played in the rain, it changes your swing, it changes your grip. Having a second glove on changes the feel you have on the club. So I think a lot of pros, they have to do this on a regular basis, so they know how to adjust to that. I think this would be a change for like the average golfer or people who've qualified for the Open that maybe have never kind of played in these conditions before. That might be a bigger deal for them. I feel the good pros, they know how to keep that mindset, keep their mental focus in these kind of conditions, because it does change for that. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm promote that. We saw it win last week. We've seen, I will say, sponsors of this show and guests of this show have done pretty good this year. We had Lab Putters on the show. They won a major this year. We've had Towel Tag. They've done well on Live and on majors. Dormy had a head cover with a major winner this year, maybe 2 major winners this year.
Squares Golf Shoes.
Squares Golf had the Ryder Cup 2 years ago. So just saying, if you're looking for some luck, the Golfing Dads Tavern is a great place to promote your products. So, but yeah, I think that's going to be a factor. But I think for the great players, they're used to it.
They're used to it. It's gonna come down to it. It's one of those where they have access to those tour vans, and if they need to get things regripped, it's going to happen in a matter of minutes from the range to the course, that they can have that redone for them.
Well, when we had Ryan on here, he talked about that, how he took his clubs to the Ping tour van and got them regripped, and he said it was an amazing experience at the major. And
he missed out on Scotty and his kids while doing that.
He did. But that's kind of the experience you get when you're over there for that. So it's a great thing for that. So yeah.
Looking forward to it. It's early mornings. I think the first tee time is about 1:06. Central time for me is about 1:06 in the morning, coming up on Thursday. For that. So again, like, follow, subscribe, see all those posts from Steve, and you can hate on him as much as we do. Speaking of Steve, true. Let's give the people what they want.
Virtual Steve?
Virtual Steve.
Well, no, that's coming up when we make our picks. So, but we will get into. I got to pull up our Smack of the Week here. So give me just a second to pull that up.
You've had some technical difficulties there.
I have. I got to pull some stuff back up, and I just got to make sure that I'm getting this stuff.
So I'm trying to get my computer back up and going here.
But yeah, this is.
Hey, I do like that Golfish polo on you.
This is one of my favorites polos now. So I will say, if you are looking for,
I might have to get some from them that I can embroider with the Airport Road Vineyard logo on it.
I think that's good. You got to get them and have that put on there. So with that, let's get into Smack of the Week. So he's not here with us. I know you're all missing Steve so much, but you got
Virtual Steve is not the same as Virtual Dave.
That is true, but Steve did send us a Smack of the Week. So this is from Steve, his Smack of the Week for this week.
That's so weird.
He got Randy Johnson.
Okay, so first off, he hits the bird. But then he does the one thing you shouldn't do. He walks straight forward into the driving range.
Yeah, you don't
Like
do
he's
that.
gonna become the next Bird there in the smack of the week.
He's gonna get Randy Johnson.
Exactly. So, well, that was your smack of the week from Steve. From it was in Ireland at the time he sent that to us, I think. So
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into last call. So normally last call, we talk about the next week on tour, but we've already talked about that this week. So this is where, Dave, you get to shine. I want to ask you a lot of questions with this because it is time.
But hey, Cobra Fit 33, Steve, don't do that to your club.
Yeah, I will tell you, if you are looking for a new driver, the DS Adapts and the Future Fit technology with the 33, unbelievable. You got yours ready to put on your LA
Yes,
golf
I do.
draft? I just had mine put on
once Lee gets
Tour
back
AD.
a hold of me.
Yeah. So Lee, if you're listening, Dave needs some help. But I just got mine put on my new shaft. But I was hitting this with the shaft that it came with last week, and it is so nice. It is such a great driver, and this is the best technology in a driver over the past 5 to 10 years. So go out there, get that with that. So with that, let's get Dave, it is our last major. So it's the last major odds with Dave this year. And I will tell you,
I've been on a losing streak here lately.
Here's the thing. I will give you my secret because I get to pick first, so I can't use this right now. You have picked 2 people for the past like 3 weeks. And you go, I think I'm going to go with this person. And then you go, nah, I'm going to go with this person. And the person you didn't pick has done great. And your pick has not done great. And you were on a streak for like destroying us at the beginning of the year. And somehow I am even back in contention at this point.
You're only 7 points behind me right now.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, this has been the don't call it a comeback, folks. But we have also let Steve get away with too much at this point. So we can't let Steve...
Steve is at 190. I'm at 156 and you're at 149.
Yeah. So we gotta make some changes here. And he picks. We did a duck race. So when we do our picks here in a few minutes, Steve will pick last. He lost the duck race. I won the duck race. And Dave, you get to pick second, which I thought we were gonna have an interesting conundrum. If Steve happened to win last week, you knew he was going to throw a fit and be like, well, I should pick first, but we didn't get there.
Which has happened to me.
I know. So we need to we'll work on this for next year.
Before we get into the one odds, this is probably my favorite parlay of the week right now on DraftKings. Not sponsored, not affiliated. DraftKings, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 5-pick parlay right now for Scotty, Rory, Xander, JT, and Morikawa to finish in the top 20, and it's getting about 18-1 right now for all 5 of them to finish in the top 20. And I think that's an outstanding parlay right now. But getting into the reason why we do odds for Dave here.
Odds for Dave?
Yeah. No surprise, Scotty, 4.5. Rory, 7.5. Then kind of a jump. John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau. So you're going 2 PGA and 2 Live in the top 4. Rahm is coming in at 12. Bryson is coming in at 20. Then you got another jump. Tommy Fleetwood, who I picked last week, that finished tied 34th, is at 28-1. Xander, which oddly enough is worse odds, better odds than Fleetwood, but Fleetwood is above him because of the way all things work. Xander's coming in at 25. Don't ask me how that works. It has to do with how the odds are spread out across the top 20 on where they finish. Morikawa at 35, Tyrrell Hatton and Ludwig at 30, Shane Lowry at 35, Victor at 30, McIntyre at 40, Sepp at 50, Matt Fitzpatrick at 55, Joaquin Niemann at 50, JT at 50, Cantley at 60, which I think is finally the best odds for him, that he's not up at like under 20 to 1. Jordan at 55. He's at 55 to win, but 9 to 1 to finish in the top 5. And then our favorite, Jason Day, at kind of 90 to 1 right there.
Okay.
So
all right. So
it's Greg, you got first pick.
I do have first pick, and I have been going back and forth on this all week. And I think for me, the safe pick is obviously Scotty. But I have seen the Rory of old. I have seen the Rory from the beginning of this year last week. He is back in his home native land. He is where he is most comfortable playing golf. And he is back to that comfortable form. If we were seeing the Rory of the past few weeks, I wasn't going to take him. But give me Rory for the win this week.
Not where I thought you were going.
I know. No one. I didn't think that last week when we did the duck race. Since Steve was leaving town, I was going to go with Scotty. I thought Scotty was the way to go. I think Scotty can win this thing. I do think Scotty is a great pick there. But
that changes my pick.
I figured it changes your pick. And I figure it could really throw off Steve's pick, and he's not here. So, Dave.
Do we give Steve the chance to adjust his pick?
Your pick. It depends on your pick. So give your pick first, and then we will make that choice.
Who was Steve's top 2?
We'll get to Steve. You got to make your pick first before we do.
Oh, did Steve only send it to you?
Steve said, "I have Steve's picks. I have virtual Steve ready in the queue to come up here and give his picks. But we will make, depending on your pick, we will make an addendum here. So, who are you going with this week?
Here's the thing. In my gut, I know who I want. But you didn't take Scotty, and that leaves Scotty on the board for me.
It does leave Scotty on the board for you. In your gut, So, who do you want?
I wanted Matt Fitzpatrick.
Really? So you wanted Matt Fitzpatrick, and I'm not trying to influence you, and I said this earlier in the show. When you go with someone and then pick somebody else doesn't do well, and that other person does well. So my gut to you would be take Fitzpatrick and go with what you originally
I think after the way he played in the Scottish Open, and I think he's about to come around again. And I'm going to leave Scotty on the table.
Wow. Okay. All right. So,
and I'm typing it in right now. It is locked in.
You're taking Fitzpatrick.
I took Fitzpatrick.
Okay. All right.
That's who I wanted. That's who I wanted going into this week.
Okay.
And that's the hill I'm going to stand on right there.
So I will tell you, Steve went into this week thinking we were both taking Scotty and Rory. So here, live from Portrush, not really live, but filmed this morning from Portrush, is virtual Steve.
Hey everybody, it's Steve. I know I'm picking third tonight, which means I know Scotty's gone. I'm going to assume Rory's off the board. If Rory's no, I'm still not going to do that. I'm going to give 2 picks just in case one of you guys threw a curveball. So my first pick for this week would be John Rahm. If it's not John Rahm, if one of you is taking John Rahm, I will go with Ludwig Oberg. Hope you guys are having an awesome show tonight. Talk to you soon. Deuces.
Hey, Steve, you're way too far away there.
So he was way too far away and didn't use his lavalier mic. I don't know. That was
Yeah.
just poor planning over there. But at the Open in the grandstand, that's a pretty cool place to kind of do that
Yeah.
for on location. That's probably one of the cooler on locations for a virtual one of us. I have been live from an NBA Finals, but I have not been virtual from an NBA Finals.
I've been virtual from an MLB game.
So here's the choice. We will give him Rom because that was his first
Yep.
choice, and he is allowed to change it to Scotty if he wants.
Hold on.
You can't text him now. It's like
No, I'm not, but I want to see what time.
we have till Thursday. It's not like tomorrow.
Oh, that's
They
true.
don't-
Yeah. We can
So-
we will give Steve the option
Okay.
because he's not here and he didn't think this would be available. When he gets a hold of us tomorrow, we'll let him know that Scotty is still on the board.
Yes. So you will have to wait till next week to know really who he chose. We can
Yeah.
have him make and post another video if he chooses to change his mind. But Dave, great show tonight.
Yes.
Cheers to everyone and the final major of the year. Hopefully it is as exciting as the other majors have been this year. And we will see you next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm really fortunate, man. I mean, having an opportunity to build something that's
And remember, folks, use code GolfingDads to get 15% off your order at Desert Fox Golf. Also use code GolfingDads to get 15% off your order at golfish.com. Use code GolfingDads to get 20% off your order at Jacket Sunscreen. And use the Golfing Dads Tavern to get 5% off your order at FlightScope.